everybody. Those of you who are in the live stream know I'm just doing more recordings. I'm recording a lot of these on the same day because I had one day to work this week. So I'm gonna be finishing my Shuppet plushies today. So I've already got them all cut out and sewn together. So I'm just gonna be showing you how they like come together as a whole. And I have a shiny and a regular Shuppet to do, and these won't take very long, so this should be fairly short. But I wanted to show you all what they look like. They have this is their cute little faces. They've got like little applique eyes and mouth on them. They're fairly simple plushies. They're a little bit larger, but these are to the scale to the Pokedex, at least the Bulbapedia. I like to go off of Bulbapedia, they're more consistent. So we're just gonna fill the Shuppet baby carefully. I have to talk now. I have to talk again about what I'm doing. Boop. I'm just gonna slowly stuff. Slowly, I say. Something about your stuffing holes or your closing seam. I always try to make sure mine's big enough for at least my hand to fit through. It just makes it a little bit easier because you're gonna wear on the seams a little bit when you stuff your thingy, whatever you're making, whatever it is you're doing. Here, I will adjust that for y'all. There you go. It's a little bit bigger, too big to work on the desk on. Just a little bit. But yeah, just push your polyfill out towards your seams as much as you can. I'm still not sure what to name these videos at the time of this. Like, I'm recording this, I know it's gonna like have a name once it's up and everything, but I don't know what the name is gonna be. Like, I want to say like how to sew plushies or something, but like it's more of a how to finish sewing plushies. It's not from scratch. I'm not showing off my patterns or anything. It's more how to finish your plushies, how to stuff them, how to craft, I guess, how to sew. And just if I do start talking, I would like to remind the video peeps that I am also live streaming this at the current time. So that is just keep that in mind. So if I start talking to the chat a little bit, that's just because I'm answering a question or two. I'll try to keep you all clued in on what's going on, something interesting happens, or blah blah blah. Okay, there we go. Almost done. So the Shuppets, I like to make sure the head is nice and full. You want to kind of squish it. Squishy, make sure it's squishy. You want to make sure it's full to the point where you like it, where you want it. I like to make sure that like it's not going to like fall in, all the seams are going to be properly pressed out and that kind of thing. So I also make sure there's a little bit extra polyfill right at your entrance. Because it's always going to dip a little bit there. Like always, unless you make sure it's nice and you want it to puff out. Like with every other seam. You want to make sure that polyfill presses up against your closing seam. There. So there's your head. I will get my needle. Black thread. Here we go, black thread. But it's the best. Boop, boop, boop. And I am very picky about knotting my thread. I like to make sure it's just definitely not going to fall apart on me. I find that taking the time to make sure something stays the way it is better than risking it. Like, I'd rather take a few extra seconds and make sure something is going to be easier to work with than trying to go back and, like, if something does go wrong, trying to fix it. So we're just going to close our seam here. And I already turned and trimmed all of the parts to go onto this. So it's just gonna take a few minutes to close it up. There we go. Ow. No, it didn't go down. There we go. Thread is giving me just a little bit of an issue here. And so you're gonna have some polyfill like poking out of your thing, and that's fine. It just means that it's stuffed well, and this will all come, like your loose polyfill will all just come off. Like I said, I buy a lint roller, and I'll go over things before I put them on my shelves. Sometimes lint rollers are like essential for plushies and stuff. If you got, because like if you're working raw materials, you're gonna be messy. You are. Like that's just the way it is. Because you don't have you do it all by hand, you're not a self-disposal system. You can't like pull it off the assembly line and just throw the scraps in the trash bag. No, it's all gotta be hand cut and trimmed, and you gotta like put it all into something and make sure that, and sometimes you don't want to get rid of all the scraps, and and you do all the polyfill yourself, and the polyfill dust gets everywhere, and that's just the way it goes. I feel like I've swallowed more polyfill. These past couple of days I've been sewing like crazy. And then cutting it in the plushies. And like I can sometimes, like polyfill, especially it's plastic, you can feel it. Like when you accidentally get some in your mouth or something. Very, very sticky in your throat. Very not pleasant. Alright. So here's my Shuppet piece, one of them. It's a very simple piece. It's just it's got like a little head. Like it looks like a little round ghost, like on a spike of some sort. So this is just the way I do the spike. It doesn't quite look like it's sheeted over like the actual one looks like, but it does a pretty good job. Alright, so for this, again, you just gotta make sure you line it up the way you want it. I always make sure my seams line up with my seams. And then I just hand sew it as steadily as I can. These I like to go in a little bit more. I like to try to make sure it's as circular as I can make it. But I just want to make sure the seams match up with each other, so As long as I follow that, it'll be fine. And you don't need to worry about getting these pieces too full when you're doing this, but you want them full enough that you know how fat it's gonna be on top of the head, so you know where to sew. This is not stuff I think about actively whenever I sew. This is just kind of stuff that I picked up as I go. See, and then boop. Just things that I took into account without realizing I took them into account. Okay, pull it nice and tight. See, I want to make sure this lines up on the seam as closely as possible. So, there we go. There, now I don't have to worry about it too much anymore. Because, like, now I know exactly where it's going to go. So I just follow where it naturally falls onto my plushie. See all this polyfill? I just kind of want to poke it back in as much as possible. Just make sure you get about halfway around your circle before you start turning back. Alright, so now we're about 3/4 in. And now we want to add the rest of our polyfill. It takes a lot more than you think it does. Now, I ran across some people once. I do not remember who they were, but I went to a craft fair. It was a maker fair. And I was really excited to go and show off what I did and have fun. And I went. And then I was kind of sorely disappointed. Like there was a booth that did plushies, like very unique, interesting, original plushies, but they made them so hard. They stuffed them to almost feeling like bricks because they're like, we wanted to retain the shape. And I was like, I mean, I guess that, but why do you, like, it's not fun. You can't hug it. Like, they literally felt like rocks. And I mean, they're like, yeah, you stuff slowly and you stuff really slowly and then you just stuff and stuff and stuff and stuff and stuff until it's stiff. And I'm like, people like smushy things. They wanna hug and cuddle smushy things. You know, like, I mean, I'm sure it's great for a certain collector style, but like these were trying to be marketed as like kids' toys, and like they were great, and I loved their designs, but it was kind of a punch in the face to realize how expensive it all was too. Because that was like before I was really doing a whole lot of this freelance. I wanted to take a look and see who like else enjoyed to make things like that. And it was super fun. And I liked it. It was just, it made me realize that it was like totally okay to go and do your own design. Like, you know, having input and everything is great, but like it's also totally okay to like, hey, you've got a specific style, you've got a specific way you want to make things, you've got a way you like things, and other people, you know, and not everybody's gonna like what you like, and that's okay too. That's why there's different mediums, that's why they're different styles, that's why they're different, you know, everything. And I was like, I don't like the way those are made. I didn't like the way they're made. They made me feel uncomfortable. It didn't feel like a little fluffy buddy. It felt like a painted rock. Not everybody's gonna feel the same way, but that's definitely how I felt. So I was like, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna make a plushie that I like. So I did. And that's how kind of part of this started. This is so nuts. Cause like, I don't know, I'm not a voice for every person out there, but if your plushie is not plush and cuddly, then why is it a plushie? That's just something I personally do not understand. I understand the concept that some people like things a little bit more stable, a little more, you know, like I've seen plushies with PVC piping in them for support because they're so huge or extravagant or they got certain details in them. It's nuts. It's crazy, I tell you. But I mean, that's not what I enjoy personally. And and you know, there's markets for like everybody. Like everybody's got different tastes and styles, and that's what's important. Fine. Ooh. Okay, now this is the bottom piece for the Shuppet, and this does not get full. I have it shaped well. I shape it like kind of like a ghosty thingy, and I always try to, I lay it over and I try to like align it to halfway across, so it gets on there properly. See, there's my back seam on my Shuppet here, and I align it with that to kind of align. See where I'm gonna sew and stuff. Oopsies. Sorry. And we're just gonna put that on there. And it doesn't take very long. These are fairly simple to do. These are one of my more inexpensive things that I make. They still take up quite a bit of polyfill. Now polyfill I do spend quite a bit of money on at times because I need so much of it for what I do, and that's fine. People seem to like the style, so I'm just gonna stick with it. I think that's important. People to realize sometimes too. It's okay to do something different. It's okay to do what you like. Okay, and halfway done. Three-quarters. See, what doesn't really take the time so much is the actual sewing part. Like this part here doesn't take all that much time. It's really just the actual like placement, taking your time putting it together, stuffing it properly, making sure that you get things stuffed properly, making sure that it all looks right, blah blah blah. Yeah. So like this part right here, like the actual hand sewing, the act of sewing itself doesn't take up all that long, depending on what you're doing. So it can, obviously the Sharpedos that I did had a lot more time in them. If that video goes up first, I'm not sure. I'm not sure which order these things are going up in. So but I made some Sharpedo, and those things have a lot of hand sewing. Like a frick ton of hand sewing in them. It is absolutely insane. And I just, wow. There. I just tie this off. Come on. Ah. Being a little bit harder. There we go. Okay. So there is one. So that's how I do the Shuppets. And they do have a big wide body. It's just I left it dangly and ghosty. And they sit on their heads. And it's got some threads attached to them because he keeps picking up things. Whoop. There we go. So, that's what he looks like. They're very cuddly. They're very cute. These are to scale to the Pokedex. But that's how I do them. You can. So there's that. And then it right along. So I do have one more here to do. I have a shiny version that I can do real quick. Yeah, I think they're super cute. I think they're super, super duper cute. Ah! Oh my gosh. If my thread. Yeah, somebody said Gen 3 is my favorite gem. Mine too. I love Hoenn. Hoenn is, I adore Hoenn so, so, so much. Like, none of my favorite Pokemon are, like, from Hoenn, which is really weird. Like, they used to be. My favorite legendaries are all from Hoenn. Shiny Rayquaza, Kyogre. Oh my god, Latias. My baby. Oh god, I love Latias and Latios. And I believe... No, the Jirachi was Gen 4. I think. Was Jirachi Gen 3? I think it's Gen 4. I'm pretty sure it was 4. I don't remember. I'm having a hard time thinking now. Anyway, Jirachi's a cute one. Man, I'm really trying to think now. Anyway, well, I shouldn't stop this because, like, I have to. I'm recording. I forget. Getting all hung up talking about the Pokemon. Dang it! What a distraction. So here's my shiny. Oh gosh, my shiny baby. Oh yeah, the argument of Pokemon designs is never going to stop or change, and I'm like, nah, no. Gen 3 is my personal favorite. Like my starter for Gen 3 was a Torchic, and my Blaziken was my very first level 100 that I ever properly like. I don't do. I'm not like competitive or anything. I just train Pokemon I like. I don't care about IVs or whatever. I just had a Blaziken. It was a female. I got a female Torchic on my very first playthrough of Sapphire. So I got a female, and I was like, whoa, female starter. That's uncommon. Like I knew enough that it was not common to get a female starter to start with, but I was very happy. So I got a female Torchic, and that was like my first level 100. So it's a Blaziken. That Blaziken and that Rayquaza from my Sapphire are like the first level 100s I ever had. And I had the Kyogre that I caught too. But my favorite Pokemon is actually Scizor. Chandelure is a close number 2. And then I have like a ton of ghost Pokemon that I like too, but I also love Sharpedo. Sharpedo is one of my favorites, and that's a Gen 3. I loved looking for Relicants. Relicants were awesome. Yeah, really. Like, Scizor and Chandelier are, like, my top 2 favorites, and Sharpedo is, like, number 3 or 4, 4 or 5, something like that, because I really love Shiny Rayquaza. And, oh, Tropius. Tropius I adore. I love Tropius. I love, oh my gosh, what are the just Gen 3 Pokemon that I adore? Oh, I love Regigigas. I adore Regigigas. Like, that's the dumbest legendary to adore, but I just imagine catching a Regigigas and, like, it's this big, huge, monstrous thing and just a little tiny, like, 10-year-old girl, or, you know, however old we were when those came out, you know, like a 12-year-old or something, just standing on a Regigigas and going, ha ha, ha ha, I own the world. It makes me so happy to think about. But yeah, Tropius, what else was Gen 3, really good Gen 3 Pokemon? An 8-year-old with Swampert, that's so cute. Still feel powerful. Yep. So and just to go back to what I'm doing, you know, same thing I always do. Stuffing. You want to stuff carefully. You want to stuff out to your seams. Make sure you do that. I'm only doing this because, like, the other video, like, this is just gonna be kind of short compared to some of the other videos, and I might as well show you what they both look like completely finished, since it's a very simple one to put together. I'm just trying to think of, like, what other Gen 3 Pokemon. Yeah, like, Shuppet's a Gen 3 Pokemon. There's a really good, like, Shuppet, Bannet, what are the ghosts for Gen 3? I'm trying to think. Because Shuppet's just adorable. It's one of the reasons I love making them. Oh, Duskull! Yes! Duskull is a plush I've wanted to try for myself. I know they make one now, so I don't know if it'll ever be one that I make, you know, like, on a regular basis, but I kind of want to try one for myself. I want to see if I could bring that to life. It's so cute. It's got its little floaty eye. It's got the little spoons on the back of its back. It's got the little pretty little detail, the little ghost wispy on its head or the back or whichever. I love Duskull. It's so cute. I never wanted to evolve my Duskulls, though. I wasn't too much of a fan of Dusclops, but I love Duskulls. They're so adorable. Let's see here. Oh, Genesect is one of my favorite Pokemon, but that's a later gen, I think. Ralt, Evil, yeah, no, Gardevoir is definitely a fan favorite from Gen 3, especially since, like, you know, I was one of the first gens where your rival got something different. It was so cool. Like, who doesn't love Wally? That little ball of inspiration. Good God. So cute. I know, we're just talking about Pokemon while we make Pokemon plushies. I think it's fitting. If you guys don't like me talking about it, if you want to like me to talk more about what I'm doing, just let me know in the comments. The comments below, I guess. I don't know how many of y'all are gonna be watching this. I'm just gonna close this now. I kind of go from. Oh, I should have gone from the outside in. That's okay. It doesn't matter all that much, in all honesty. It's all kind of the same thing at this point. Mudkip, Manaphy, and Mimikyu. Yeah, my top 3, I mean, excluding legendaries, are definitely Scizor, Chandelier, and probably Sharpedo. But with legendaries, I have to throw in Kyogre and Shiny Rayquaza to the mix. And I prefer shiny Sharpedo just because I love purple Pokemon. Like, I know it's more pinkish than purple, but God, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. I love my shiny Sharpedo. Oh, crap! No, wait, I skipped that. I forgot one. I forgot. Crap. I adore, like, this is another shiny preference, but shiny Golurk. I love Golurk so much. It's so cute. I love the giant golem baby that can fly. That's what I fly around on, actually, is my shiny Golurk. Oh, crap, because, like, I have a tie between, like, Golurk and Sharpedo, but I like both the shiny versions. Like, there are ones where, like, I actually have the shinies. I have a lot of shinies. Which is why I like making shiny Pokemon plushies, because, like, they're like, oh my god, that was my first shiny. I have to have, you know, like, the actual plushie now. Like, that's kind of, like, I make shiny Chuckles and shiny Shuppet and shiny Spirit Tomb and stuff like that. Oh my god, but no, my Golurk, I do not know if I could actually do that plushie, but if I ever made a Golurk plushie, oh my god. Like, I just don't know if it's in my style. I don't know if it's in something. I don't know if it's something that I'm capable of, like, thinking of, because, like, there's certain shapes that people can do in a way, and there's certain, like, obviously I have a specific style of my plush. Like, that's just what it is. And I don't know if Golurk would be in line for that. I don't know if I could actually do it. I am not completely confident that I could pull that off. I would love to try. It seems like it'd be a very detailed little project to do. But I love Golurk. I don't think Golurk gets enough love. I adore Golurk. And the shiny version is just so pretty. It's so pretty. It's like this beautiful dark gray with these beautiful, beautiful neon greens. I'm rambling now. I am obviously rambling, and I don't even know, like, what to say to... I should probably, like, focus on getting this done so y'all can see how to sew a plushie. I like them. I do. I do like some of the bigger Pokemon. I just said that Regigigas is one of my favorites. And, like, then the Golurk. And the Golurk, they're huge, too. They are enormo. I'm, like, tiny and cute. Yeah, and I like big and terrifying. Like, oh my god, Chandelure is horrifying. Like, there is a Pokedex entry on Chandelure that just says, they hang around hospitals waiting for people to die so they can feed on the souls of the dead. And I'm like, they hang around hospitals? That's nice. It's coming good. It's coming good. Ghost Pokemon are terrifying and horrible, and I love it. And the freaking... I will never forget when I first played Black, and that little girl in the ghost tower at the graveyard site of Black talked about how she loved her Litwick, but she always felt tired after she used it. And I was like, oh god, it's eating your soul. Oh no. Nice detail there, Nintendo. Thank you for that lovely mental image. Adorable. This poor little girl is having her soul drained by her favorite Pokemon. Shuppets are coming fine. I got the first one done. We are getting the shiny version done, and then we can move on. Can sign off for y'all. There we go. See, I miscalculated a little bit here. It's not quite. So I'm gonna pull it out a bit. There. Just gonna make sure it's nice and round. You don't wanna pucker up the fabric too much. But you do want to make sure it's kind of nice and closed before you start filling it with the polyfill, so that you don't get it everywhere like that. So that's something that you want to keep a watch on. About 3/4 full, about 3/4 around is when I'll finish polyfilling these pieces. So there we go. And just want to kind of fill it. And then I'm just going to finish going around the edges here. Just pull it tight every once in a while. This is something I'm not even like keeping track of how often I'm tugging on the the thread, so I'm just gonna leave that to you guys to kind of see what I'm doing, because I'm not that's not something I consciously think about when I do this. Like it's just not like how I move the fabric and whatever. It's just something that I picked up over the 4 or 5 years I've been doing this now. Oh my gosh, I'm doing this for 5 years. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. I'm getting to be a little bit... I've done this a very long time, it feels like. 1, 2, 3, 4. And one more, just to be safe. There we go. See, and there, I just know that it's not going to move from there. And see, it came out a little... That's because the seam... So you can kind of mold it a little bit. And make sure it's nice and cushy, though. You want... The important thing is that it's fluffy. That's what's important. You want to make it nice and cuddly. Okay, there. And then we're just going to put on the bottom piece, which again, see my back seam here? This is the middle. I try to make, I always try to sew things to be as even as possible, but, you know, nobody's perfect 100% of the time. There we go. So I just lay it across there, and I like it. I want it to be like halfway to meet. I look at my seam, and I look at where this is, and I know that's halfway. That's all I do. That's it. That's all I do. See, this is actually kind of nice, because this whole knot here, where it's closed on the bottom, actually lined up perfectly with where this knot is going to be, where my ghosty part is going to attach. So that actually works out beautifully for this guy. So this particular Shuppet didn't turn out so perfect on top, but it's turning out very perfect on the bottom. So it's all about like what happens sometimes. Like what happens, it just depends on where holes close, where this happens, where blah 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 happens. Like it's not ever a perfect set thing when you're working in handmade, because it's handmade. So, just glad that this is something that I could do, because I've had my YouTube for a while and I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know. But this really works out. Yeah, each item. Like, I actually had a person who came up to my booth once, and they were like, that one's a little bit lopsided from the others. I'm like, yeah, he didn't turn out, because his seam, he had a split seam that got cut during the trim, so he had a little bit of a dip in his head, where that trim, where I had to sew it back together, like, on the machine, and it was just a little bit off. And they were like, he's cuter than the rest, I'm gonna take that one. So, like, it's, there's some people, I like the ones that come out a little bit derpy, or a little bit silly, a little bit not quite 100%, and I'm like, really, that's kind of sweet, that's a sweet gesture. It's nice. And see, like, this is not quite, I should have, oh man, I might need to get a little bit more thread, and that's really gonna drive me crazy, because, like, it's so close, but I'm not sure if that's gonna make it. Oh, I should have gone a little bit more. See, now I regret not going one more. Unrolling on my... Oh, hold on. Maybe. Maybe. I don't want to make it... Okay, so, like, what I can do... This one... It just makes it so much harder. There. Okay. Kind of want to show you all what I'm doing here, but I'm having a hard time. I have to pull this close to my face. Hold on. Once in a while, it just gets a little bit too short. Not by much. Not enough to, like... I'm not gonna waste it. Alright. There. That should do it. There you go. Shiny Shuppet. And now they are together. Alright, that's all for this one. If you like what you see, you can just see more of my stuff, or my videos, I guess. I guess I'll be doing more of these, I suppose. And I'll catch y'all next time. Bye-bye.